The truth about retirement savings in the U.S. The U.S. retirement savings crisis is severe, with many Americans unprepared for retirement. Experts estimate that a comfortable retirement requires $1.5 million, despite the average family's savings of $64,000. This movie discusses retirement savings, the challenges we face from rising living costs to psychological barriers, and how to build a financially secure future. Let's discuss retirement savings and financial planning, determining the nature of the issue. The issue of retirement savings in the United States is one that many of us would rather avoid thinking about, despite the fact that we are all aware that we need to be thinking about it. What proportion of Americans are saving enough money to meet their retirement needs? In reality, the United States of America is currently facing a challenge with retirement savings. Recent surveys indicate that the typical family has saved around $64,000 for retirement. However, the majority of Americans estimate that they need around $1.5 million in order to retire in luxury. Considering the magnitude of this disparity, it is imperative that we ask ourselves, how well prepared are we for our golden years? Number 7. Currently discusses the state of retirement savings. What is the typical amount of savings that individuals in the United States need when they reach retirement age? All right, let's begin with the stats. The average American between 35 and 44 has saved more than $60,000, while those between 55 and 64 have saved more than $140,000. When broken down, these numbers may seem to be respectable, yet, when compared to the retirement objectives that the majority of experts propose, they are a significant distance short. Financial consultants often recommend saving 10 to 12 times your yearly salary by the time you reach retirement age. This indicates that an individual with an annual income of $60,000 should have a savings amount of at least $600,000 to $720,000. Clearly, we are not meeting expectations. The fact that not everyone is able to easily save money for retirement is one of the factors contributing to the issue. Individuals who make a higher salary often have more substantial savings, with 93% of them enrolling in retirement accounts such as 401k plans. On the other hand, just 13% of those with modest incomes have accounts that are comparable. The discrepancy is remarkable and brings to light systemic problems with access to various savings instruments. Number 6. Why are we struggling to save? How do student loans and credit card debts make it more difficult to save for retirement? How come it is so difficult to put money down for retirement? There are many different causes for this. However, the following are some of the more typical challenges. Due to the fact that wages have not kept up with inflation, it is difficult for many individuals to save even a tiny portion of their income. This is because of the increase in the cost of living. A burden of debt. There is a record amount of debt that Americans are carrying, including mortgages, credit card debt, and school loans. These responsibilities sometimes push retirement funds to the back burner. The absence of plans sponsored by employers. Over 80 million working Americans lack access to retirement accounts provided by their employers. Being able to save money becomes more difficult and less consistent when they are absent. Number 5. Introducing the psychological obstacles. What kind of an influence does a lack of financial literacy have on people's tendency to save money? It's not simply the lack of financial resources that prevents us from moving forward. To a large extent, psychology is also involved, thinking in the short term. Many of us place a higher priority on one-time expenditures than on long-term objectives. Because retirement might seem to be so far away, it is tempting to put off spending money for it. Disparities in financial literacy. Some people lack knowledge about how retirement accounts operate and the importance of starting early. Misconceptions about savings and investing may discourage a number of individuals from taking action. Number 4. Discusses the role of policies and initiatives. How does the Retirement Savings for Americans Act RS benefit workers who do not fall into the typical category? Policymakers have proposed a variety of measures to address the issue of inadequate retirement savings. Look at some of the more important ones, which are as follows. This is the Secure 2.0 Act. The purpose of this piece of legislation is to mandate that employees be automatically enrolled in their workplace accounts in order to increase participation in retirement plans. In addition to this, it provides small firms with tax advantages to encourage them to establish retirement plans for their workers. Act to encourage Americans to save for retirement. This idea establishes government-supported retirement accounts for millions of workers without them. With the intention of encouraging participation, these accounts would contain donations from the government. However, despite the fact that these policies have a lot of promise, they are not a panacea. Taking responsibility for one's own financial destiny is still something that is up to the individual. Number 3. Developing strategies for saving for retirement. Does making consistent contributions to a retirement account result in advantages that accrue over the long term? After we have discussed the difficulties, let's move on to the potential solutions. You can start your journey or catch up by taking these steps. Get started. When it comes to saving for retirement, your most valuable asset is your opportunity to start early. As a result of compound interest, even very modest donations might rise to a substantial extent. Always contribute here. Make sure that your retirement account receives contributions on a regular basis. Even a monthly payment of $50 or $100 might add up over time. Number 2. What is the appropriate amount of money to put away? In order to prepare for retirement, what proportion of your salary should you save aside? People frequently ask themselves, how much do I truly need to save for retirement? The answer is going to be different for you based on how you live your life. But a reasonable rule of thumb is to try to save 80% of your salary before you retire each year. You may predict how much money you will need for retirement by using calculators that take into account your age, income, and aspirations. Number 1. Encouraging a culture of savings. What are the advantages of making conversations about retirement savings more commonplace in mainstream society? Beyond the efforts of individuals, we need to establish a culture that recognizes the importance of retirement savings and encourages them. The provision of comprehensive benefits and financial education is one way in which employers may play a role. Through the teaching of fundamental financial literacy, schools may better prepare future generations. In conclusion, the dilemma in relation to retirement savings in the United States is a critical matter, but it is not an insurmountable one. While policymakers may provide help via efforts such as the Secure 2.0 Act, people are responsible for taking proactive actions, such as beginning their contributions at an early age, contributing regularly, and making the most of the advantages offered by their employers. Take action right now to pave the way for a better future. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights.